Tonight, several breaking stories as we come on the air. The verdict, the mother found guilty in her son's deadly school shooting. Also, the very tense hostage situation at a Bank of America. A sniper shooting at the suspect with the hostages right there. And country music legend Toby Keith dying at just 62. First tonight, Jennifer Crumbley found guilty on all counts of involuntary manslaughter. The first parent in the U.S. ever to be charged. Donald Trump is not immune from criminal charges in the January 6th federal case. Tonight, the D.C. Court of Appeals unanimously rejecting Trump's claim of immunity. Tonight, the bipartisan border bill from Republicans and Democrats working together in the Senate. President Biden today telling Republicans, show the American people you work for them and not someone else, amid pressure from Donald Trump not to support the bipartisan solution. And the breaking headline just in as we come on in the West, House Republicans tonight failing in their effort to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. The deadly storm slamming the U.S., flash flood watches across several states tonight. The water rescues the Amazon truck dangling from a California hillside, the home beneath it at risk. And tonight, more rain now coming. Rob Marciano right there in the storm zone. The very tense scene unfolding in Florida, that bank hostage standoff, a suspect armed with a knife, claiming to have a bomb, holding two people hostage, holding a knife to a woman's neck. A SWAT sniper opening fire with the hostages right there, how this ended. The door that came off that Alaska Airlines flight, now we learn tonight, it had no bolts at all. All 4 bolts missing. That jet had flown nearly 150 flights without the bolts. Tonight, King Charles and his cancer diagnosis, Prince Harry back in London, and what Britain's Prime Minister is now saying about Charles' prognosis. And country music legend Toby Keith dying at just 62. Tonight, the kind of cancer he fought, and the tributes pouring in. I should have been a cowboy. As we celebrate Toby Keith's music right here.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with the verdict. A Michigan mother found guilty on all 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter in her son Ethan Crumbley's deadly shooting rampage at school. The first parent ever to be convicted in their child's deadly school shooting. Jennifer Crumbley seated in that courtroom hearing the verdict, guilty on all 4 counts. Her attorney visibly shaken. Crumbley simply bowing her head. Tonight, the jurors, some of whom are parents, others who are gun owners, not taking these deliberations lightly, and what the jury foreperson said after the verdict. ABC's Trevor Ault leading us off at the courthouse in Michigan tonight.
Tonight in Michigan, that historic verdict.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter. Guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Jennifer Crumbley guilty of those 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, one for each of the students her son murdered at Oxford High School in 2021. She is the first parent in the U.S. ever held criminally liable for their child's school shooting. The jury, comprised of 6 men, 6 women, some parents, some gun owners, deliberating for 11 hours over 2 days, determining Crumbley failed in her duty as a parent, ignoring the signs of her son's deteriorating mental health and gifting him the gun he used in the shooting. The defense argued it was her husband James's responsibility to secure the weapon, but the jury foreperson saying after the verdict, the thing that really hammered it home is that she was the last adult with the gun. Prosecutors showing this video in court, Crumbley taking her son to the firing range.
You're the last adult to have possession of that gun.
Correct.
The shooter bringing that 9mm handgun to school just 3 days later. And even that morning, prosecutors said Crumbley had the chance to stop the shooting. Called in for that meeting with her son's counselor, the school concerned about what was written on his math assignment. Crumbley never telling the school to look for a gun. The shooter opening fire hours later. Today, Crumbley sitting motionless, eyes down as the verdict was read, quickly escorted away in handcuffs. The judge thanking the jury.
We all know that this is one of the hardest things we've ever done.
Prosecutors shaking hands and hugging the families of the victims. And tonight, Craig Schilling, whose son Justin was killed, with this message to Jennifer Crumbley.
You wouldn't have to go through any of this if you would have just done your job as a parent. So you had a chance to do it, and you didn't. And now it's your time.
Jennifer Crumbley's sentencing is now set for April, and her husband James will stand trial in March. David, this is really a landmark moment for parents, given what this jury decided, that a parent can be held responsible for a child's school shooting. David.
Trevor Ault leading us off tonight from Michigan. Trevor, thank you. We turn tonight to the unanimous ruling against Donald Trump, saying he is not immune from federal charges in the January 6th election interference case. Tonight, the three-judge panel speaking with one voice, saying no former president is above the law for all time thereafter. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, tonight.
Tonight, in a scathing opinion, a federal appeals court rejecting Donald Trump's claims he has complete immunity from prosecution for anything he did as president, including his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The three-judge panel unanimously ruling former President Trump has become Citizen Trump. Any executive immunity that may have protected him while he served as president no longer protects him against this prosecution. We cannot accept that the office of the presidency places its former occupants above the law for all time thereafter. Trump claims he cannot be tried for trying to overturn the election and his actions leading up to January 6th.
The president has to have immunity.
In court in January, the judge is deeply skeptical, asking if a president could order the assassination of his opponent and get away with it. Trump's lawyer arguing a president can't be charged unless he is first impeached and convicted by Congress.
Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution?
If he were impeached and convicted first. And
so your answer is no.
Today, the court was blunt. We cannot accept former President Trump's claim that the president has unbounded authority to commit crimes. The judge is also taking aim at the serious nature of the charges Trump faces, writing former President Trump's alleged efforts to remain in power despite losing the 2020 election were, if proven, an unprecedented assault on the structure of our government. Trump has until Monday to appeal to the Supreme Court. If the High Court declines the appeal, the judge overseeing the case could set a new trial date soon. But if the Supreme Court decides to consider the matter, all bets are off, David. There could be lengthy delays.
Pierre Thomas with us tonight. Pierre, thank you. We turn now to the border tonight and to that bipartisan border plan from the Senate put together by Republicans and Democrats. Tonight, President Biden telling Republicans, show the American people you work for them and not for someone else, amid pressure from Donald Trump not to support the first bipartisan solution in years. But Trump's pressure appears to have worked tonight. Meantime, the other breaking headline, the Republican effort to impeach the Homeland Security chief has failed tonight. Rachel Scott on the Hill.
Tonight, President Biden with one last push, urging Republicans to resist pressure from Donald Trump and pass the landmark bipartisan bill, the most sweeping set of border security measures in decades.
It's time for Republicans in the Congress to show a little courage, to show a little spine, to make it clear to the American people that you work for them, not for anyone else.
Trump, who wants to run on immigration, has been relentlessly attacking the bill.
It's one of the worst, one of the dumbest bills I've ever seen.
Biden now with this warning if the bill doesn't pass.
Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends.
Less than an hour later, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell acknowledging the bill is going nowhere.
It looks to me and to most of our members as if we have no real chance here to make a law.
McConnell, who supported the compromise, pointing out the irony. Republicans were the ones pushing for border security legislation in the first place.
I mean, it's actually our side that wanted to tackle the border issue. We started it.
The bill, which was endorsed by the conservative-leaning Border Patrol Union, pumps $20 billion into border security. It includes a trigger mechanism. When migrant apprehensions reach 5,000 a day, the border would automatically shut down. And it makes it harder for migrants to claim asylum. All things Republicans had asked for. Democrats furious. I've never seen anything like it, says Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii. They literally demanded specific policy, got it, and then killed it. This is what Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson said in November. saying without a border security bill, there would be no new funding for Ukraine.
I think we can get bipartisan agreement on both of those matters.
But as soon as the bill was released, Johnson declared it dead on arrival.
You said a few months ago that you wanted to see a bipartisan agreement on border security and additional aid to Ukraine. Senators said that they did that.
They did not send us a border security measure. They didn't.
Tonight, anguish from Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma, one of the lawmakers who wrote the bill and one of the Senate's most conservative members.
We can't keep doing this. We've got to actually find ways to be able to stop the chaos that's happening on our southern border.
But time never helps.
Never.
House Republicans rejecting that compromise, instead pushing forward with a vote tonight to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas over his handling of the border. But Republicans didn't even have enough votes to push that through. And an embarrassing defeat for Republicans voting against that, some arguing that a policy dispute is not an impeachable offense, David.
Rachel Scott, live on the Hill. Thanks, Rachel. Now to the historic storm slamming the U.S. on the move tonight as a new round takes aim. Relentless rain for California, the ongoing mudslide threat tonight. L.A. officials, in fact, warning people, do not let your guard down. Several states on alert for flooding and snow. Flood watches still from L.A. to San Diego, Nevada and Arizona in for heavy rain tonight. The daring rescue from the raging Oquendo wash. A man had gone in for his dog. Both are safe tonight. And look at this home in Los Angeles, unrecognizable, destroyed by a mudslide. And the Amazon truck dangling from a hillside and the home beneath it that was in danger. Senior meteorologist Rob Marciano in the storm zone again tonight for us.
Tonight, Southern California neighborhoods caked in mud with fears of more landslides as water keeps flowing from that relentless atmospheric river.
Just look at this car, this house crushed and thrust off its foundation. Mud and rocks sloughing off this hill, and there are hundreds of these slides across L.A.
In Montecito Heights, this Amazon delivery truck stuck on a hillside, threatening a home below. Rescuers working to get it to solid ground. In pouring rain, first responders and helicopters pulling this man from the rapids to safety. He went in to save his dog, who made it out on its own. Both are okay tonight.
Just extraordinary images. Let's get right back to Rob tonight, timing this out. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. Boy, the cleanup's been difficult today. This rain has really not stopped at all. Matter of fact, they've extended the flood watches through the overnight period, and we're transitioning now to more convective action. We've already had a tornado warning in San Diego. So the watches are up. We've got them into Arizona, now New Mexico, into the Intermountain West as well. And that upper low kind of swings across the area tonight and tomorrow, and that will bring more in the way of thunderstorms, heavy downpours, and then maybe another 1 to 2 inches of rainfall as we head through Thursday and Friday. A couple of more weaker pulses coming through, so I think it'll be wet on and off through the rest of the week. David?
Rob Marciano right there for us. Thank you. Now to that very tense scene unfolding in Florida, a hostage standoff at a Bank of America. The suspect claiming to have a bomb and holding a knife to a woman's neck. A sniper then opening fire with the hostages right there. Victor Oquendo from Florida tonight.
Tonight, the terrifying moment. The SWAT team coming face to face with a bank robber who took 2 hostages.
Listen, just come out here, let me see your hands, and we'll work with you. We'll work with you.
Tense negotiations. You can hear the suspect raising his voice. Deputies urging him to surrender.
I know you're going through a lot, but this isn't going to make what you're going through any easier.
Authorities racing to the scene of this Bank of America branch in Fort Myers, escorting people out of the building, deploying a robotic dog.
Shortly after 11 a.m., we received a call of a bank robbery in progress with multiple hostages.
The sheriff identifying the suspect as 36-year-old Sterling Alavache, saying he claimed to be carrying a bomb and armed with a knife.
He started to put one of the hostages in like a headlock, and he had the knife to her throat.
Suddenly, a sniper opening fire, shooting the suspect dead, freeing the hostages.
The sheriff said the sniper feared for the hostage's life, and that's when they opened fire. Both hostages were unharmed. David?
Well, that is good news. Victor Oquendo tonight. Victor, thank you. Now to the alarming new report tonight after that door came off that Alaska Airlines flight at 16,000 feet. Well, tonight we now learn that all of the bolts in that door plug were missing and that the passenger jet had flown nearly 150 flights without the bolts. Here's Gio Benitez.
1 month after that terrifying mid-air blowout, tonight the NTSB says all 4 bolts meant to hold that door plug in place were missing entirely. In its 19-page preliminary report, the NTSB says the fuselage arrived at Boeing's Renton factory back in August with damaged rivets near the door plug. To fix the issue, the door plug was opened and bolts had to be removed. But the NTSB says evidence shows that when the plug was returned, the bolts were not put back. This photo shared in a text among Boeing employees showing the missing bolts in 3 visible locations, but apparently going unnoticed by workers.
This is going to be a quintessential human factors type of problem, and that people fail to do their job.
Shockingly, that Alaska Airlines jet making nearly 150 successful flights without those key bolts until that incident in January. In a statement tonight, Boeing CEO saying in part, whatever final conclusions are reached, Boeing is accountable for what happened. We simply must do better for our customers and their passengers. And David, the FAA administrator testified on Capitol Hill today saying that the FAA will likely add more inspectors at Boeing facilities and then keep them there for a while. David.
That was something, 150 flights without any bolts in that door. Gio, thank you. When we come back here tonight, King Charles and cancer and what the British Prime Minister is now saying tonight about Charles's prognosis. And honoring country music legend Toby Keith tonight, dying at 62, and the kind of cancer he was fighting in a moment. Now to King Charles tonight and his cancer diagnosis. Tonight, the British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak now saying the King's cancer, still undisclosed, was caught early, in his words, saying it was good it was caught so soon. Prince Harry now back with his father, flying back to the UK from the US. The 75-year-old king receiving outpatient treatment and is said to be in good form tonight. When we come back here tonight, McDonald's response this evening amid backlash over $18 Big Mac meals and $6 hash browns. And Travis Kelce's response tonight amid speculation he's going to propose to Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. To the index of other news tonight, McDonald's responding to customer backlash over its prices. The fast food giant criticized over the rising cost of items on the menu, sales slipping as a result. Some restaurants charging up to $18 for a Big Mac combo meal, $6 for a hash brown. Tonight, the CEO now says affordability will be the company's focus this year ahead. The Super Bowl, of course, already getting a lot of attention. And tonight, you probably heard the speculation that Travis Kelce may propose to Taylor Swift at the game in Vegas on Sunday. She'll be performing in Tokyo, flying back in time for the game. Tonight, Travis Kelce's been pressed about the engagement rumors, suggesting the only ring he's focused on right now is a Super Bowl ring. Stay tuned. When we come back tonight, country music star Toby Keith, the cancer he was fighting. And tonight here, we celebrate his music. Finally, honoring country music legend Toby Keith. After his battle with stomach cancer, we learned he has died at 62, but his music and his courage live on.
How do you like me now?
Country music legend Toby Keith was larger than life.
Now that I'm on my way.
The 6'4" singer would say he writes about life and doesn't overanalyze things.
I want to talk about me, want to talk about I want to talk about number one. Oh my, me, my, what a...
He was a rodeo hand, worked in the Oklahoma oil fields, played semi-pro football before signing with a record label in his 30s. His first big break, I Should Have Been a Cowboy, in 1993.
Singing those campfire songs. Oh, I should have been a cowboy.
60 hit singles on the Hot Country chart, 20 #1 hits, 40 million albums sold. His duet with Willie Nelson, Beer for My Horses.
We'll raise up our glasses against evil forces, singing whiskey for my men, beer for my horses.
Red Solo Cup, 2011.
Red Solo Cup, I fill you up, let's have a party.
His lyrics weaving life, truth, and humor.
I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
2002, courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue after 9/11.
Brought to you courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue.
Also honoring his father, a disabled veteran.
Uncle Sam put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking her fist. And
Just 18 months ago, Toby Keith revealing he was battling stomach cancer. 4 months ago, at the People's Choice Country Awards, his wife Trisha wiping away tears.
try to love on your wife and stay close to your friend. Toast each sundown with wine.
In December, 3 sold-out shows in Las Vegas. And this is what Toby Keith once said about cancer.
You got cancer, but cancer don't have you. You just have to keep looking forward and going.
But don't let the old man.
Celebrating Toby Keith tonight, a courageous battle and performing for his fans right until the end. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.